Here is the parameterized or the programmer-defined constructor. This was not changed at all from what Dr. Moore put together, but let me explain what's going on here. Because number one, I personally am not a big initializer list guy personally. I would set all these values within the square braces here, but size of gets pushed to size, capacity gets to size, the array set to null pointer. These are all fine, obviously. It works out just great. I just would list them out here, but hey, it was a great idea, so I'm going to go with that, and I'm going to show you how that works out here in a moment, so bear with me here. But this is just basically creating your, well, frankly, your dynamic array. So if the size is greater than 0, then we're going to go ahead and start creating the array itself. And yes, we're using the new keyword, so you know that's going to be a pointer, number one. And number two, it is of a heap array. Now remember, by the way, it was T star array, which is hopefully popping up here, that's going to be our ARY. I should say ARY instead of array. But that's where it shows up from our private. Now we're tying it into our actual array of objects in this case. Notice a T out in front of that. Remember, I can replace that T with integer. I can replace that T with student. I can replace that with any data, custom data object that you and I wanted to create with this. That's why it's templated, because here's a template, very top again. That's how we are supposed to be working with this. It's supposed to work with any data type that you and I can create, or integers, floats, doubles, all that good stuff. If we have a problem setting up our array, we're going to throw a runtime error, and then we're going to go ahead and place in, and this is the interesting part here, is each slot with a value, and well, we go through a loop because remember it's in an array, so now we've got the array set up, and now each part of that loop we're going to put a value in there. Now what does that mean? On this first one, we're creating a string. It's going to have two values that are already in there and a capacity of 2, but each of the values is going to have that and dot, dot, dot. On this one here, it's going to be an integer array, and that means that each of the values are going to have 3 in them as we set things up. And then for this last one, blank is actually an established value here. So I'm going to change this for one split second so you're going to see another aspect of this. And by the power of editing, it's changed to exactly what you had in the code that I give you. So what this means is that it's going to create 30 spots, and each of those are going to be of a new student. Now, I know it doesn't say new in front of them, but as you know, as we create our normal student, as we created with advanced classes and objects and stuff like that, for each spot within the array, it's going to create a student value in that particular spot. So that's how we're doing the usage, and that's how we're creating all of this using, again, our templated angle T or T itself, telling us that, hey, I can use any data type I want, a string, an integer, or a student, and this code should work out. I know it's a leap, but bear with me.